Some of you are not going to believe this because I didn't even believe it. Yes, this is another video about the exway wave. I've done more videos about the exway wave than any other board. It came out 4 years ago, and up until recently, it was the board that I use the most often. Even today, it's one of my most frequently used boards, and it's definitely still within my top 3 favorite boards. But I never did a range test on it. I kind of just assumed what range I would get. You see, the exway wave, I use it for short distance rides, so I never actually use up the full battery. In my original video about the exway wave, I think the reason I didn't do a range test was because it was raining a lot, so I just didn't do it. And then later, I did do a range test with the 105mm cloud wheels, but that was with the 216 watt-hour battery made of Sony cells. The Wave doesn't use that battery anymore. The Wave's battery now is 180 watt-hours using, I think it's using Li-Shen cells, not totally sure, but I think that's right. So I never did a range test on that. Well, I still haven't. When the travel battery came out, I started using that battery instead, the 99 watt-hour travel battery. But up until recently, I never did a range test on that battery. Now, because lately I've been testing this prototype wheel, which I'll talk about in the future, I wanted to do a range test on the Wave with the 99 watt-hour battery to compare the efficiency of this wheel with other wheels. And I wanted to use the Wave with a small battery because I'll get the range test finished more quickly. So first, I did a range test with the stock wheels, the stock 85mm wheels. And I got 17.5 kilometers from a 99 watt-hour battery. I know what you're thinking. You're like, no way. That cannot be right. 99 watt-hour battery, 17.5 kilometers. I weigh 77 kilograms, or well, I don't weigh 77, but like with everything on me, I weighed 77 kilograms. The weather was 32 degrees Celsius, but here's the key thing. I was only riding at about 20 kilometers per hour because that's my comfortable riding speed on the exway wave. You know, it's got a shorter wheelbase, it's relatively tall. Compared to most other electric skateboards, it's relatively unstable. But if you ride slow enough, then it's fine. Like, it's just for getting from point A to point B, right? It's not like a leisure board. So yeah, 20 kilometers per hour, that must have been the key thing. Like, I wasn't riding very fast. At 20 kilometers per hour, I got 17.5 kilometers. Like, whoa! So the one range test I did before with the 105mm cloud wheel discoveries on the 216 watt-hour battery, on that setup, I got 18.9 kilometers, 216 watt-hours, 18.9 kilometers with the cloud wheels. On this setup, 99 watt-hours with the stock wheels, 85mm wheels, but 99 watt-hours, 17.5 kilometers? Whoa! Like, I did not expect that. So okay, I thought, okay, maybe that was a fluke. I was kind of skeptical, but I went on to test other wheels. So the next wheel I tested was the Cloud Wheel Discovery FE, 105mm. On that wheel, I was still 77 kilograms. Weather was still, weather was 33 degrees Celsius. On that wheel, I got 14.9 kilometers. 14.9 kilometers on a 99 watt-hour battery. The average speed was a little bit higher, just like 22 kilometers per hour, but still, it's like, damn, like 14.9, basically 15 kilometers, right? 15 kilometers, 99 watt-hour battery with the Cloud Wheel Discovery FE. 105mm. So those measurements were done using X-Way's odometer. So I logged the starting odometer number and then the ending odometer number and just subtracted, and I got the number that way. So I thought, okay, maybe X-Way's odometer is in, and yes, I set the proper wheel size. All right, the wheel size was set correctly, and like 105, it wasn't even set at 105. 105 was set at 103 for the wheel size. I mean, because the wheels are never like, for the various 105mm wheels, they're never actually 105. So yeah, I put 103 to be more accurate. Okay, so I thought, okay, maybe the board wasn't measuring the range correctly. So for the third range test, I used the Ride app also. For the third range test, I was using a different set of wheels. I was using the prototype wheel that I've been testing. That one's also 105mm. In the app, I also set it to 103. And according to X-Way's odometer, I got 14.4 kilometers. Okay, 14.4 kilometers, 99 watt-hour battery, still excellent. Average speed was still 22 kilometers per hour, and I compared that with the range I got from the Ride app, which uses the phone's GPS. The app told me 14.8 kilometers, so even higher. Okay, 14.4, 14.8. about the same. So it wasn't an issue with the board measuring incorrectly. I was just getting that range because I was riding slow. And then I did a fourth range test. This time I was using the Mat wheels V2. That wheel is also 105 millimeters, which I also set at 103. Still using an average speed of 22 kilometers per hour. With that wheel, I got 13 kilometers. So 13, 14, 15, they're all pretty close. Like I tried to keep the variables similar, but I can't control for everything. I can't say for sure that one is more efficient than the other. All I can say is that they're pretty similar in terms of efficiency. But my point is, I'm pretty surprised at how much range I got from a 99 watt-hour battery. Today I was actually going to do a fifth range test using the dad bods, but it's raining, so yeah, some other time, I guess. That's it for now, just a short video. Like I said, I'm testing the prototype wheels, so expect a video about that some other time. Take care.